Okay, so I want to make a video talking about the new content they're planning to add to Death Ball. This is going to be more focused on the additions that will keep people playing or get people to come back to the game. The first video is a lot of the random features that they're revamping or re-adding, like ranked is being re-added. It's not new. And as far as I know, nothing big is going to change with ranked. It'll just be season 2. Um, but as far as new content goes, they're going to be adding more champions, which is really, really good. We need new champions. um, it's a lot of what makes the game replayable. If there aren't new abilities to play around, it's pretty stale. There are two new champions that were in testing that were leaked. One of them was a weird combination of Cydo. It had ground walls from Cydo, basically. It had Ice Slide from Torokai, and it had Koju's gun, but they were all changed a little bit. And then it had a Death Ball, I think is one of them, but a different version. So I don't think he's necessarily going to be competitive, but he looked pretty cool as far as the design goes. So I'm hoping that one's the one getting added with this update. And then there was one that was shadow themed that was also leaked, but the gameplay wasn't very clear on that one. You didn't get to see the abilities the same way because the person you're spectating wasn't playing that character. So there was one or two people that were playing the character around the map, but you couldn't see what they were doing too well. Um, Overall, both characters look pretty good. I think they'd, help the game a lot as far as if they're added, but we'll just have to see. Um, then they're going to be working on more boss battles, which I think the game really needs. Boss battles aren't really core content, but with them adding modifiers and difficulty modes, I think bosses might end up being something people really enjoy if they do it correctly. Since they're also going to be revamping packs, the whole pack system is going to be cut and replaced with something else, which I'll get into more in the trading video. But I wanted to essentially talk about that because with them getting rid of packs, they need to make sure that the new method of obtaining items is actually enjoyable. Packs are a little bit iffy, so hopefully they come up with something better, but we'll just have to see. I'm hoping they don't pull a blade ball and just say everything's for money and gems don't do anything anymore, but who knows. Um, Same AFK aura could also be cut, so just be aware of all of those things as possibilities. And then, as far as other content goes, they're going to be making better structured raids, so I would expect more typical raid mechanics. So something like, kill this little minion, grab the debuff, and then use the debuff to do something to finish the phase. So we'll just have to see. But I would guess the new raids will require you to play with a clan, or playing with a clan will make it much easier than playing with randoms. So we'll have to wait to see what exactly happens with that. And then they're going to be adding more swords. So I doubt they're going to be making new packs, so it's probably going to be new swords in the battle pass from bosses or some other way to obtain them. There's going to be a bunch of ways that are possible, but we'll just have to see what they end up deciding on. Then they're going to be adding death effects and finishers to swords. So whenever you kill someone, some effect would pop out of their character, I guess. And finishers, I don't know if that's just in face off or whenever you kill someone, a finisher would activate. So we'll have to see. And then they're going to be adding skins, which I think are weapon skins, but it's possible they pull an evade and make playable skins for your character. So maybe you can dress up as Saito or Kameki or something like that. We'll just have to see. Stat tracks they're also going to be adding, so I would guess it's going to be like kill counters and stuff. They might track other things like wins and ability usage and stuff like that. We'll just have to see. Overall, I think stat tracks are cool, but it's a little bit extra. It's not really necessary. Same with skins. I don't really know why that's a priority for this update. I think they could easily move that back, but we'll just have to see. Gifting as well. No one really cares about gifting, but it's going to be added. Sword naming, cool concept, but we can't lock swords. So if you personalize a sword with an aura, a stat track, a skin, a death effect, and a finisher, you can't lock it in your inventory to make sure it's safe. So I find it incredibly stupid that we don't have a lock system yet. Hopefully they add that in this update or in the next one because That's something we've needed for a long time to prevent people from actually accidentally selling their favorite items. Sprays are another thing. I don't know why sprays are a priority because if people are playing Death Ball, why are they gonna just spray paint a wall? If you unlock the items and it's a flex to have a certain spray, sure, maybe someone will enjoy it. But if you can upload whatever image you want as a spray, that's going to be a big issue in the community. People are going to put some really, really bad things on those sprays and put them everywhere. So I would guess that they'd have to remove that if they don't do this correctly. We'll just have to see. Poses are another thing. I believe they mean they're going to be adding the poses to S grades that they were supposed to a long time ago. So Rose Pack was supposed to get poses, Rainbow, Solo. Um, Eclipse X doesn't have a good pose. It has the placeholder Scythe idol. Same with Protector. All of those need new idols. Warforged needs something. It's a Scythe, so you can still give it the Scythe idol. But Newbie made a bunch of idols for a ton of weapons a long time ago. So hopefully that's what they're adding, but we'll see. There was a concept also a very long time ago for dual wield idols. So there's a chance that if you get something like a dual wield S grade amethyst, you would be able to have an idol that's dual wield. But that wasn't added and that was so old, I doubt they're going to do it. So I would love to see S grade dual wields, but I doubt it just because that would make it very difficult for people to get everything. But who knows? And then one of the other weird things that they're planning to add is game modes tied to maps. So I would guess we have something like, just as an example, a dodgeball field as a map. So let's say it splits the lobby in half. I think the lobbies are 14 players, so 7 players on one side, 7 on the other side. One team would be red, one team would be blue, and then you can only target red players as a blue player. Maybe. I have no idea if that's what they're planning. I'm hoping the game modes don't become a problem because Blade Ball has always been the game that has a ton of game modes. So they had like a heaven versus hell mode. If they're going to add that kind of stuff to Death Ball, I think it's going to get a little cheesy. I don't think that's what Death Ball players really want. So hopefully the game modes are still enjoyable and there's still skill expression in the game, which if you don't know what that means, it's basically if you're good at the game, you can show that you're good at the game by winning in 1v1s, and if you have 4 people teaming on you, you can still come out of it on top. That's what Death Ball does. That's what it allows for now. If they put in a bunch of really weird game modes, then it's going to take away from that because if it's just super chaotic, let's say they add a game mode where the ball's, I don't know, 4 times faster just for fun, then the good players are just going to get destroyed. So they aren't really going to have any fun. So they need to be really careful who the game modes are tailored towards and that everyone actually enjoys them. So I think they're going to need a lot of testing and they need to be really careful with what they add. Same, if people are gem farming, people are always going to pick the best game mode for gems. So if they make one game mode specifically optimized for farming gems, everyone's going to spam vote that game mode until everyone hates it. So they need to be really careful with what they do with game modes because they have no experience with game modes. Because One Life no one really plays, and Pro Lobbies no one really plays. Ranked was kind of mixed because Ranked was hosted on EU servers and Singapore servers. So all of the United States players hated Ranked, mostly, because our ping was horrible. At least that out of the people I knew, everyone had over 100 ping from the US. So I could be wrong, but the ping was a massive issue in ranked, and them making game modes didn't go well in the past. So we'll just have to see. I'm optimistic, but they need to be very careful with how they implement this for it to go well. And I think they're doing a lot of very risky things with the update. If they just focused on making the bosses good, adding swords, fixing trading, adding more champions, the update would be amazing. But they're adding a lot of fluff in that doesn't need to be here. And there's a lot of things they're adding in where if they mess it up, it will make the game a lot worse for a lot of people. So if they're careful, it'll be great. Just kind of on edge about what they're going to do with the game. So overall, good changes. Hope it goes well, and I'm looking forward to it. So have a good one.